room.
Mr. Worldwide T-Pain, we are live. People
Mr.
can see us.
Worldwide, T-Pain is not Mr. Worldwide, for the record.
Well, I know, but the song, they have a song together, and it's like, Mr. Worldwide,
Okay, but
T-Pain.
Pitbull has a song with like everyone.
Yeah, but that's the...
You're quoting like you're trying to
I'm
like
quoting a
cherry pick.
song.
Yeah, you're trying to cherry pick like the one song with T-Pain.
Yep.
But he always says Mr. Worldwide.
Yes, I understand that. I know Pitbull's
Yeah,
tagline. Thank you.
right. Just like DJ Khaled is another one,
Yes. Yep.
which I never understood.
I knew that one too, actually. Fun fact. What are you drinking over
Here's a
there?
fun fact. Oh, Gavin, look at this. I'm a proper adult.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Sprite Zero.
Ooh, okay, I like it. I like it.
As I'm reading the nutrition facts here, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really know what it has in it because serving size 1 can, amount per serving, calories 0, total fat 0, sodium 35 milligrams, that's 2%. Total carbs 0, total sugars 0, included added sugars 0, protein 0. I don't know why they've even listed protein in here, if I'm being honest.
Right.
Potassium 108 milligrams, that's 2%. It says not a significant source of saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, fiber, vitamin D, calcium, and iron.
That makes sense.
Here's the thing, I don't know what's in this. Yeah, I have no idea what's in it because if there's no sugars, I mean, I guess it's Sprite Zero, so it's like the aspartame or whatever it is that they use, which is like actually, yeah, which is what, like actually so unbelievably incredibly sweet that like an insignificant amount of it is enough to replicate the sweetness that you would normally need from sugar.
Yeah, sorry. I'm laughing because I just watched Darwin Nunez run after the ball and just fall for no reason.
Oh yeah, no, I just saw that as well.
So we're live.
We're live on the air.
We can probably start the episode soon, but we will be watching the match.
What we could do is we could just break like all the time.
Yeah.
Break the continuity of this episode as we. Oh, nice! I love this camera angle that it's zoomed in at this massive divot in the field, presumably where Darwin slipped.
Well,
this field is gonna be a mess. In World Cup.
I have no idea what is causing Sprite to be that good, other than maybe the aspartame. I'm drinking water. Now you can't see it, but the live viewers can see it. It is
like Bud Light.
No, water.
Yeah, Bud Light.
It looks like a fancy water that you'd spend $6 at a gas station for. But
so like a Dasani.
Kirkland Signature ionized alkaline water. pH 9.5 at the time of bottling. However, this has already been drinking and it is refilled from my sink, so I'm not that fancy. So, don't judge.
I'm judging.
Anyone who's watching, no judgment.
Anyone who's watching, just know you can judge vicariously through me, who is judging Gavin for this. As I'm always judging Gavin for this. Actually, let me just do a quick little looky look here. What are we knowing?
We almost scored.
Oh, well,
the goalie. I think I'm a few seconds ahead of you. Maybe the goalie cut out
I think
across.
you are.
What are you at? I'll pause real quick. What are you at?
I'm at 12:40.
12:40. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me when you reach 12:52.
But 12:52. How are you so far ahead?
Just tell me when.
Okay, go.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me just do a quick thing.
Don't reset it. We're gonna have to reset it again.
No. I'm not resetting. No.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Skip
4,
a few. 99, 100. Beautiful.
5. Okay. Hey, Gavin.
Hey, Russell.
Here's what I'm going to judge you for before we start on this episode. Do you know that I've called you 5 times and you haven't answered?
It's been a busy week. I'll tell you about it later, but it's been a really busy week.
It's Monday is the thing, Gavin.
Yeah. No, last week was really busy. That's when
Sure,
you
yeah,
called me.
and then the weekend, I'm sure was busy too. I called you basically once a day, every single day for 5 days starting last Wednesday, being
Yeah.
like, surely he wouldn't be busy today, and then he didn't answer. So
So I'll tell you that unfortunately, at the weekend, you called me at pretty inopportune times, even though my weekend wasn't that busy.
hello everyone, and welcome back to the MLS Now podcast. I'm your host Russell. You can find me on social media at Mr. Danger Russ, and you can find the podcast on social media at MLS Now Podcast, and you can find on social media making absolutely no excuses because apparently he's too busy to even be on social media. You can find Gavin at Lions Blog One. Gavin, hello. Too busy for social media, too busy to answer a phone call, too busy for texts. Welcome on the show.
Yeah, you cut me off as I was talking there, as you usually do.
Yeah.
I was also too busy to put up my L and my 1 because I was watching the game. We
Right.
are doing our regular episode at our regular time, but it just so happens that USA versus Uruguay kicks off at our regular time of live streaming and recording. So we're going to do a watch along as well. And I missed my L1 opportunity because I was watching the game. So sorry about that.
You're
But I'm doing
watching
well.
USA presumably about to take an L to Uruguay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're playing pretty decent right now. So we'll see.
But we always play pretty decent right now, and then like some level of adversity or thing happens, and then we just get completely tilted.
Well, there's about to be a yellow card for Tyler Adams, so
Right?
maybe
Yeah.
that's the adversity. I don't know.
I don't know.
We shall
Who's getting
see.
a red card this week? That's a bigger question.
Might be Tyler Adams.
Yeah. Anyways, hey, Gavin, the lowest hanging fruit that we'll ever do. Hey, big story right now. I don't know if you know this, but Copa America is going on literally as we speak. Just for anyone who hasn't been following along here, Jesse Marsh's Canada has advanced. However, in fashion that will knock on wood before saying, but Mexico is out after a draw to Ecuador.
Insane draw.
Yeah, I mean that was like probably 75 minutes of unwatchable soccer.
Yes. And then right at the end there, the penalty given. Clearly it's a dive. Thank the Lord the refs call it back through VAR. And oh man, I'm sure the emotions in that stadium were something else for those Mexico fans.
One of the quotes that stood out to me from the announcers was they had said something to the effect of, oh, the referee is being signaled over to VAR here. And he's like, and if you thought it was loud when that penalty was called, it's about to go even crazier here when they take it back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just absolutely absurd. But it was the right call, so.
It was the right
all
call.
Good.
That's correct. Yeah, I'm glad they got it right, especially considering the Euros have been plagued by many complaints from numerous teams complaining that they're not getting it right. So, but
that's every game.
Yeah, that is every game. On the topic of Copa America, though, anything stand out to you in particular? Anything you want to bring up? Anything that you feel is worth shouting out?
I mean Venezuela. Talking their group. Yeah, that one. That's pretty cool to see. They've been playing really well. They've
extremely well. Yeah,
they won all 3 of their games, right? They've got 9 points from 9.
Yep, swept it.
Just look like a really good team. Like just a good unit of players. Might not have the absolute star-studded roster that some of these teams have, but top in their group, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it seems like they know how to play effectively against their opponents.
Yep. Yeah. Agree. The only other thing
could serve them well.
Oh yeah, definitely in the knockout stages. they'll be a tough opponent that teams do not want to face right now. I think the other thing is just most of the games have been tight. I think like they're very even matches. Like yeah, there's been a few blowouts, but for the most part, like even some of these nations like Argentina versus Peru or Argentina versus Canada or like Brazil versus who did they Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
They
And I think who was it?
no.
Jamaica got a or no, it wasn't Jamaica. It was
Who did Brazil play?
Brazil. They got a draw in that first round, and it was shocking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who it was. I'm like losing my mind here. Oh, and freaking Google changed their UI. Costa Rica.
That's what. Yep.
That's who it was. Right. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's like just there's been some closer games than you'd expect, and it's made for pretty entertaining matches. And now that we're down to the third round, there's a lot of teams that are still in it, and they're still fighting for their right to stay in the competition. Even Mexico versus Ecuador. Ecuador was.
Yeah. It went down all the way to the wire.
Yeah, so
it's been
really enjoyable. Yep.
Well, actually, whoever won that was going through, but only one team would go through if it was a draw, and it was a draw, and Ecuador went through. So.
Yeah, the scenes at full time were
absolutely
very
chaos.
Cool to see. Yeah, always good to see that.
That second that whistle went, like that field was flooded by the Ecuador players. Very happy for them.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, enough about Copa America because it's going on right in front of our eyes, and I'm sure we'll have some little things to throw in here and there as we go along. In the meantime, Gavin, just a few general topics I want to hit on before we get into our headlines this week. Just changing things up. I liked that we started with these last week, so we're gonna run it back. We're gonna do it again. Want to start off, of course, with the one-hit wonder Atlanta Toronto. Surely that's the only time this season, maybe the only time this decade, that we will see that goal scored in MLS.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Now, granted, you see like old videos of it, right? Of like who was like Lionel Messi or like Ronaldo like trying to sneak behind like the goalkeeper like a decade ago or something, and being like all stealthy, hoping to like set the ball down to like steal it from them, and you never like you see them do it, you don't see them pull it off, and like this actually got pulled off.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm like, okay, are Toronto like gonna pull it off? Like, what's gonna happen here? And then Atlanta are kind of pushing in the final moments, and I'm like, oh, okay, it looks like it's gonna be a draw. And so I kind of like switch off for a second, kind of like the goalkeeper did. And I switch off, and I'm like, okay, well, match is over. He's just gonna kick this, and the ref's gonna call full time. And even the camera cuts, and they come back, and it's a goal, and I'm like, wait, where? How did that happen? What? How was it 2-1?
And in the concourse and gone.
Probably so many. Like, and then it's like they show the replay, and it's he literally rolled the ball out, and it's a goal, and it's like what?
Just walks around behind him like. And here's my question.
Why did he roll it out?
Yeah, and like if you're a player on Toronto and you, for instance, turn your head around and you see that there's someone still behind the keeper.
Say something?
Maybe, yeah. If you see something, say something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Panama are up 1-0. That is not good news.
Not surprising. Like, here's the thing. Every single team in our group should have like gone to town against Bolivia.
Yeah. They were the ones getting dog walked in this competition.
Right. Like Uruguay put it in 5 goals past them. If Panama puts in 5 goals past them, there's a world where we get like 1 goal win against Uruguay and we still get eliminated, which would be insane.
Yeah.
But totally deserved because we shouldn't have drawn to Panama.
Lost.
Yeah.
Not even drawn.
Yeah.
Lost.
Yeah. Should not have lost to Panama. You're right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, so Tiare's goal, just peak entertainment. It was amazing, and I was going crazy. I was just like, what is happening here? So that was great. Favorite goal of the weekend by far.
Not mine, believe it or not. And we will get into that later because I made sure to include it.
Okay.
That's my it's my second favorite goal of the weekend. There
Okay.
was a better one.
Okay. Yeah, there were some good ones this weekend, so
Some
that's
great
fair.
ones this weekend. Hey, okay, another one here. Just throwing this one out on the spot. Seattle versus Chicago. Here's I've Chicago lost. This is a 2-1 win for Seattle, but here's the thing. Both of Seattle's goals come from penalty kicks.
They do.
And so then my question for you is Chicago were doing relatively well leading up to this, right?
Yep.
They're on a bit of a good streak there with some wins. They've had some nice performances. Do you take much from a loss where both goals came from the spot instead of open play?
Well, they gave away the two penalties, so
Yeah.
there's that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't score enough goals to win the game. So, like, yeah, I think it's. I don't like fully discounting penalties and set piece goals because they're a part of the game. What teams who score more in open play versus teams who score on set pieces, like, yes, there's the data that shows that teams who score more in open play are probably playing better soccer. But if they have the same number of goals, who cares? Right? Like,
Fair enough.
if both
Fair enough.
teams
Yeah.
have 40 goals on the season and one team has 7 penalties and 3 goals from corners and the other team has 1 penalty, 1 goal from corner, you still have 40 goals. So, for me, it's quality goes into winning a penalty and quality goes into scoring off of a set piece. So, for me, I'm feeling like it doesn't take away the fact of the win for Seattle or the loss for Chicago.
All right. Fair enough.
Sorry to
Fair enough.
Chicago fans.
Hey,
No
side
excuses.
note, while we're on this, looks like a concussion substitute for Uruguay.
Yeah, that was a
On the
nasty,
screen here. Yeah,
nasty
player
coming together
stretchered
there.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully nothing, beyond maybe just like momentary dizziness. I mean, you hate to ever see a player fully get a concussion. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously be as safe as possible on it, no reason to risk it.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago did have 2 away matches in a row, away to Orlando, away to Seattle, and lost both. So, how they
Right.
bounce back
Losing to
from this is
Orlando
going to be interesting.
is that's just how could you lose to Orlando, right?
Unacceptable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, losing away to Seattle, right? Like, okay, it's a long trip for for an Eastern Conference team. Headed out there, you got like a 2-hour time difference for them because they're an hour behind, so they're in Central. So, I mean, you can chalk that one up to a good bit of like jet lag and travel time and all that. But come on, Orlando, should have beat them. Should have beat them.
Hey, we've got a Ian Southcote one in the chat saying that on Seattle, it's the worst first half he's seen from them in years. They're not looking great this season. It's been very.
They're not, and that's honestly, Gavin. That's the main reason as to why I'm like, how do we feel about Seattle winning with 2 PKs? Because it's on the balance of it. It's not like I watched this match and went like, oh yeah, Seattle's dominating this game, like front to back, should have won this handily. Like, I mean, again, you had to earn the PKs, right? Like, you have to put yourself in a position to get them, but yeah, I mean,
They're doing okay, but like, there needs to come a point, I think, this season where they start to turn the corner, and I'm just not seeing it right now. It's very like match for match. Feels like they're a bit of a different team. So
yeah,
I I mean, they're a bubble playoff team right now for a reason. They're leaning on, guys like Rothrock have come in and they've been exciting to watch when they've come in, but it's like he's not. Rothrock isn't supposed to be your star. Like Roldan and Chu and Morris and Rusnak are supposed to be carrying you, and Pedro de la Vega are supposed to be carrying you over the edge and carrying you to results. And it's like it feels like more of the supporting cast players are the ones being leaned on, and as we've talked about plenty of times before, it's not going to get you very far.
No. Side note, though, yes, they're a bubble playoff team. They're in ninth right now. They are, however, 3 points behind Colorado, who's sitting fourth.
I mean, that's just MLS for you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't reference positions right now. Positions in the table.
But I do think they will probably be a bubble playoff team for the full duration of the season. Like, I mean, you'll go up and down, right? Like, you'll have some good weeks, you'll have some bad weeks, and I do think that, you know, bubble playoff line is probably about where they settle, just because I'm looking at the teams below them, and I don't know if there's like do I see Dallas overtaking Seattle? Probably not. St. Louis, no. Kansas City, no. San Jose, they're already like calling it a season. So like Austin is right around them, Vancouver's right around them, and Vancouver been off and on. Like, but again, like they're sitting in ninth, and I don't know if I'd see them falling below 10th at the absolute outside of it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's about my opinion of their floor as well.
Yeah. Hey, going over to the East real quick. Finding a way is kind of just what I wanted to talk about here. Nashville versus Miami. Miami with yet another win. No Messi. Jordi Alba doing some good work. No Luis Suarez either, who's sitting on the bench right now for Uruguay as we speak. And yet, Miami still getting results.
Yeah, they've been playing well. They've been playing like just a unit, kind of like how we talked about with Venezuela. Like, even without the quote-unquote star guys up top, they're finally figuring out a way to go and win games. So it's insane to see when they're putting Busquets and Kristoff in center back positions, and they're still figuring out a way to get results. But kudos to them. Kudos to Martino. I mean, I think
if it works, it works.
Yeah, I think he has to get a lot of credit at this point. I mean, they were struggling earlier in the season when they didn't have Messi. Not a problem anymore. They're figuring it out. They're learning how to manage the season, manage these MLS teams in these moments without their star guys. And by hook or by crook, they figure out a way to win. It's really impressive. It is really impressive. And so...
Yeah. And honestly, Gavin, like, these are the types of performances, and being able to perform even if you don't have your best players. Like, I hate that it really looks like they might just make a strong push for the Shield over the course of the season. That's right. Like, I think everyone was like, oh, well, when Copa America comes around, like, they're going to lose Messi, and they're going to fall out of, like, you know, they're going to fall out of it, and they're going to have, you know, none of their star players, and they're going to lose everything, and they're going to get down to, like, fifth in the East, and then they're just never going to recover. And they're not doing that at all.
Sorry. I don't know if you're seeing this.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I've seen it.
The ref called a foul.
Mm-hmm.
He literally blew the whistle, pulled out a yellow card, and then played advantage. What?
I mean,
what are you doing, ref?
You can play advantage first and then come back to yellow card.
Yeah, but he
got the order mixed up.
He did get the order very mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is on brand.
Yeah,
for
like
international competitions. If we're being
you
honest,
can't just let them keep playing.
Hey,
imagine if they had scored there. That would have been insane. I think VAR would have had to call that back if he blew the whistle. He blew the whistle.
Maybe.
Pulled out the card.
Oh no! The Uruguay player sets it on. Yeah, super quick.
Okay, yeah, so that's different. That's illegal play. Is it a legal play? Usually the refs
down. Yep. Watch.
No. I saw that. You are correct. Yeah. They do set it down and play quick, but the referee is giving the yellow, and usually the refs, you can't play quick when the ref's giving the yellow. I wonder if
We've
there's a
seen.
rule about that, or if refs just do that.
I don't know.
I think the ref at that point, if they're given a yellow, the ref has to blow the whistle.
It seems discretionary. Like if someone wants to play
Interesting.
a quick foul, just like quick short corners or something.
Okay, Ian in the chat is saying that we are correct. Announcer says ref has to stop play after they take out the yellow card.
Oh, there you go.
So that was just bad. But then they don't even play it from the foul spot. He doesn't acknowledge his mistake. He just plays it from the throw in. Interesting.
Again,
Yikes.
the ref is looking at it where he's like, "I am the law,"
Yes. Yes, I
which
am above the law.
yeah, but I mean, I guess he kind of is, isn't he? Like, who's gonna stop him?
Yeah. Now, if you are a team playing Miami, back to what we were
Hmm.
talking about, and
Right. If I am FC Cincinnati playing Miami on the 5th of July, go ahead.
you see this team that is down to its more MLS regular looking roster, and
Yes.
like you have to be licking your lips a bit and thinking this is a really good time to play Miami. But as you were saying, like team after team are falling to Miami and they are on just an insanely hot run right now. I want to say they're like, oh, it's like one loss in their last 15 matches or something. I'll have to go look real quick, but they're just
They
really,
lost to Atlanta on May 29th, was their most recent loss.
yeah, like they're running the table right now. It's really
Yeah.
impressive.
And since when did Messi go? Was it like June 15th, June 19th ish?
Something like that. Yeah.
So like let's say it was June 19th he didn't play. So I guess I could click on the match to see, right? Like let me just look at this lineup.
Okay, so
Yeah, so he didn't play June 19th.
Atlanta United, they lost 3-1, right? Their
Right.
last loss before that was that destruction against New York Red Bulls in match week 6.
Oh yeah, in the rain match it was away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since then, it's been lots of wins, a couple ties, and they're top of the table.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They've probably got another tie coming up because they're away at Charlotte this Wednesday.
Tie City, bro. Tie
Yeah.
City.
And then they're away to Cincinnati on Saturday, July 6th.
Yeah.
And that match scares me because I have no idea because both teams are going to be missing so many players.
Just
Oh
sit
my
back and
gosh.
enjoy the show, I think is all you can
Yeah,
do at that point.
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be sitting staring into the sun because it's the middle of summer and the way the sun angle sits is you're blind if you sit on the east side of the stadium for like the first 45 minutes, but we're going to be blind and that's that. So
Yeah.
anyways, hey, last one I want to talk about before we get into like major stories here is just going on with SKC. Like, there's been so much, tumult in this team. They've been horrific this year. They got like the new chief soccer or chief sporting officer or whatever in who used to be like a coach or used to be like Peter Vermees used to be a coach for him. Like, is this a sign of things getting better? Bringing in a new CSO, considering the last one they tried to bring in was Gavin Wilkinson, and we know how that turned out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they won,
Yep.
but
This more
like,
long term.
yeah, like, is this? I don't think this new CSO has anything to do with the win, but like, is there maybe like a change in vibes going around or something? Like, I don't know. I just
He's a just quickly, he's a sporting director, not CSO.
okay.
But
Oh,
I think
live fact checking. Thank you.
Vermees is the CSO and the coach, because that makes sense, of course, as we talked about many times.
Right.
I don't know. It's just another face, another name. Maybe he comes in and changes everything, and he says, "Oh, what are we doing here? This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong." Like
And then he's
from
going to take
recruit.
that to his boss, Peter Vermees, who's
Yeah,
going to say what?
True. Maybe he's going to be open to it. Maybe he's going to acknowledge that things are broken because clearly they are. But like recruitment processes have to be wrong. Scouting processes have to be wrong. Training sessions have to be wrong. Like
Who
something.
do those things fall under?
They all fall under Vermees. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I acknowledge. But like
Right.
another set of eyes maybe is what's
Maybe.
needed.
We can only hope.
I can't sit here and say that Vermees isn't smart enough to say that things aren't working. I for sure he has to see that the last few seasons the team has been dreadful. So I have to hope he'd be open to this new set of eyes coming in and putting together some sort of change. Or else why did you fire the last guy? So I think it's something to be hopeful for. It's just a matter of how long will it take to see real change happen. Jeez. Is that Pepe getting ready off the bench? Oh, man.
Dude, hot take. I don't think Pepe was the right person to bring in.
I don't know.
Is that? I'm assuming that's Balogun who's down on the
Yeah,
ground.
Balogun's down.
Yeah,
There's been so many injury stoppages already. I feel like we're going to have like 10 minutes of stoppage time at first half.
probably. Oh man, those shoes are coming off. He's
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Unfortunately, I think our biggest goal scoring threat just came off the field, and Pepe
Yep.
does not come even close to replacing that. So
And we already are missing Weah from the red card. So hopefully Pepe can, get in behind and get a goal, but he doesn't give me loads of confidence.
yeah. Does Greg's system even incentivize that? Because I don't think we normally do that.
No, not really. So
Yeah. All right, hey, Gavin, I'm going to move us on to just talking about some general headlines here now.
hey, before we get into the
By
headlines, I think I missed a few. We were just
Yeah.
chatting away. A few correspondent
We were
corners.
chatting away. We did miss some correspondent corners. Yeah, let's throw them in. We've talked so far about Atlanta, Toronto, Seattle, Chicago, Nashville, Miami, SKC, and Austin. Do we
All
have any
right.
correspondent corners there?
Yes, we do. Let's hit SKC from SKC Spins, Travis Mitchell. He says, "Man, it feels good to win decisively. The fan base needed that. That said, the front office is still dysfunctional. Brian Bliss probably deserved to lose his job, but the hiring of Mike Burns doesn't point to a new ambitious direction for the team. I'll expand over the long weekend with an article on the blog." Okay, so more to come from Travis on the SKC hire. Chicago Fire, talked about them from Tim Holtz. The Fire failed to get their.
One.
It is a long one. I thought about saying that, but then I just started reading. So thanks for calling that out. The Fire failed to get their first ever win in Seattle despite being ahead for a lengthy stretch in a match where the referee was busy. Chris Brady has now faced 3 penalties in the past 2 matches and remained dead last in the conference for a second week in a row. The team needs to be better disciplined, and Jonathan Dean, a right back making close to the senior minimum, pressed into service on the left, has been getting worked as teams have learned to exploit the right side with both Gutman and Gasper out for an extended period. My goodness. The team's 4-game unbeaten streak is now firmly in the rearview mirror. Now it feels instead like a team that has lost 6 matches of the past 10. It's funny how you can manipulate the numbers like that. They face a short-handed on-the-ropes Union team on Wednesday, the Fire's 3rd match in a row against a team outside of the playoffs. Can they get a win, or will the only fireworks on July 3rd be the ones that are scheduled for after the match? Great ending there, Tim. For Atlanta, we've got Bryce, our good friend Bryce Leslie. Atlanta, I can't tell if things are looking up or down. 3 points were earned or given, but we lose Almada and potentially Wiley in the same week. A lot of flexibility incoming, but the team sits in a playoff spot. The question to follow is, will the DP slots and manager be filled in the summer, or is everything pushing to the winter? I hope they do it in the summer, man.
Not happening.
Not happening? All right.
Here's the thing, Gavin. If you're losing, they got rid of Yakimakis, right? You lost your DP9. They got rid of Thiago Almada, DP10. Got rid of Caleb Wiley. young-ish, promising talent.
Isn't
And you
Wiley
got
just
rid
a
of
rumor right now?
supposedly rumor, but I mean, it seems like that one's got some legs to it.
To
Like
Chelsea, right?
everyone, yeah, like everyone's reporting it.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
And then also Gonzalo Pineda's gone. Like that's a lot of work. And
Yeah.
the window opens I think 18th of July. That's a lot of work to get done in the next 17 days to get a coach identified and brought in and make sure that they're in line with whatever vision Garth Lagerway has, or for them to sit down with Garth Lagerway and be like, this is how I want to play. These are the players that I think we need to get.
Well, my guess is Garth is going to drive the recruitment, and they're just going to hire somebody that fits the players that they recruit. And maybe not necessarily, like, they probably already have their plans for this summer, and they would hire, if they were to hire someone this summer, they would say, okay, your first real transfer window with us is the winter. So
that would be my expectation.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you could do the other option there within
the time. It's not possible. Literally, it's not possible. Okay. I think that's it for correspondent corners for now. We've got a few more, but we'll hit on those later. And let's get into the matches that you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, so I've got some headlines here, Gavin, as usual. Let's see if you can guess who they are.
Okay.
These are some pretty easy ones this week, I'm not going to lie. Boston Tea Party. Would you like to guess?
Oh, I wonder. Okay. New England versus Columbus.
Correct. You're one
wrong.
For one so far.
What if you were like wrong?
Right. How about this? We got Broken Hearts, Broken Bells.
Broken Hearts, Broken Bells. Got to be Philly.
Yeah, Philly, Montreal. Correct.
My heart was not broken. I had Montreal in a parlay.
As did I.
Yep.
Unfortunately, my parlay also involved Toronto.
Awkward. Did you go for the Canada one again?
I went for Canada.
Yep. Oh, man. They're not very reliable.
Canada. And yet, the one that's the most reliable on the season was the one that lost. So.
Yes. Yep.
Then got putting them in their BC place.
Russell. Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver, St. Louis.
Yep.
And then finally, I Am Inevitable.
I Am Inevitable. That's a different one.
It's a different one, and yet only one can really fix it, or can really fit it.
Fit it. Inevitable. LAFC? Colorado?
LAFC. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. LAFC back on top of the table once again.
Yep. Somehow, some way, they figure it out.
Somehow, some way. And right behind them, LA Galaxy. I mean, it's both LA teams good this year is amazing for like El Trafico and playoff stories, but man, it's painful seeing LA and LA at the top.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're literally coming up against each other on Thursday. So it's going to be fireworks on the 4th of July, hopefully, in a 10:30 p.m. El Clasico.
Are they doing this one at a Rose Bowl again by chance or anywhere special?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it is at the Rose Bowl. I didn't realize that.
They really like doing it at the Rose Bowl. I mean, it's going to sell out. So.
Yeah, it usually does.
Side note, as stoppage time was announced for USA versus Uruguay, despite all these injuries and like a dude getting stretchered off, only 5 minutes.
Yeah, not sure about that one, Chief. Not sure where 5 minutes came from, but whatever. Ian in the chat says he prefers the season where all 3 California teams miss the playoffs, but he does happen to be biased.
Fair. And you know what? Here's the thing. Starting next year, you can prefer that all 4 California teams miss the playoffs. So enjoy this last year of wishing for only 3 California teams to fail.
Yep. That's the way it goes. All right, let's start with inevitability.
Inevitability. All right. Hey, 3-0 win for LAFC. It's a Bogusz hat trick. We love hat tricks in this league. You don't see them all the time, although there's actually been like a weirdly large number of them in the recent weeks. So they almost feel like they're less special, but they're still special. It's very hard to do hat tricks. Colorado, though, here's the thing. it would not have really even mattered if that hat trick happened because Colorado had one shot on goal.
Yeah, they just like didn't really show up for this match.
No, like not even a little bit. And like I would be hard pressed to even say like Cabral got a yellow almost immediately, and then he got a red later on. But like two goals had already gone in by that point
Yeah.
when he was sent off. Like that red didn't impact the match at all. And I don't like Cabral's not a defender, right? Like I'm not sure how much his first yellow even impacts the match, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah, I didn't touch this game when like looking money wise because I had no idea how it was going to go. Colorado have been in great form. LAFC at home are obviously, usually a lock, but like sometimes they can, mess things
They do
up.
weird
But
things.
not this game. They really went out there and showed Colorado who was boss. It was a great performance from them, and Bogusz. I mean, he's really stepping up recently and starting to fulfill some of that potential that LAFC saw last season. He struggled that first season last year, but yeah, he's very quickly becoming like second name on the team sheet in that attack right now behind Boanga.
Saying that LAFC seems like hit on at least one or two big names. Like even if it's on a 1 year delay, it ends up seemingly not mattering because they still have at least one big name firing at any given time.
Yeah, I think they rarely miss. They did miss, I think, on Stipe Buke, but
Mm-hmm.
the thing that's very admirable about LAFC is that they do tend to recycle pretty quickly. If something's not working, they fail fast. So I think that's a really good strategy to have, and not every team does that. A lot of teams stick with their players that are clearly not going to get them very far for way too long.
Yep.
So I like that LAFC are willing to say, nope, we got this one wrong. Let's get rid.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a lot of high praise for LAFC. Colorado, it was a bit of a weird week for them because they had been just so hot lately. Like same thing with Chicago. Like Colorado looked like they were finding themselves, and then just like very uncharacteristic. Like even Mihailovic was the person who had the one shot on goal. By the way, I fact checked myself on that prior to this. I was like, just want to make sure. Yep, okay, Mihailovic had the one shot on goal, but like one shot on goal for Mihailovic is still kind of unusual. So I don't know. Like I don't want to read too much into it because like LAFC, very good team, playing away to them, not the easiest thing to do. But this was an uncharacteristically bad performance by Colorado.
Yeah, I agree. Very uncharacteristic and not entirely sure what went wrong, but LAFC really picked them apart.
Yeah. But that said, I expect Colorado to bounce back. I mean, play they play here in what, like 2 days on Wednesday.
They
So
play against SKC. Yep.
oh
They're like my lock of the week.
yeah,
Or
that's
midweek, I should
easy.
say. Oh, Thursday, not Wednesday. It's Thursday. But
Whatever.
they
Easy.
they're a lock, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking at what matches are coming up here in the midweek. There are some excellent matches coming up. I mean, holy moly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week this week for watching
It will be.
soccer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's
But hey, the
go.
whole summer has been
Yeah, so far. Yep. Let's go to the Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party. All right. I'm going to start this off with a fun stat. New England had one goal, obviously. Columbus had five. The five goals for Columbus were all scored by different players.
I didn't
Very
realize that.
fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Another really really fun stat here. New England and Columbus actually had not too far apart shots on goal. I think New England had 5 shots on goal. Columbus had 6 shots.
That's kind of crazy.
And Columbus had 5 goals of those 6 shots on goal.
Yeah.
So and
They
then
were
finally,
they were creating tap-ins though towards the end of the game.
well, and here that hits my last really fun fact here. I think it's the highest expected goal I've ever seen in my entire life. I looked at it on FBref,
Is this for
and
Marrero's goal?
yeah, for Morera's goal,
Yeah.
FBref had it rated at 1.0.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You literally couldn't miss.
It was a.
Impossible.
I have never seen a 1.0 rated expected like shot on goal. Even Fought Mob, because I was like, that seems quite high. Like, let me just
Right.
like sanity check this. Fought Mob had it at 0.99, so I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, he was literally like in the goal.
Right. So I mean, like, I just thought that was very fun because I don't recall ever seeing a 1.0 expected goal before.
Yeah, me neither. That's a good stat. Yeah. Title of this episode is Comeback City, just because of all the comebacks this week, and this is, while it is a 5-1 destruction, it is technically a comeback by Columbus. New England did go up in this match. They were kind of pushing right from the get go. They get the goal from Boateng, but yeah, Columbus just aren't fair. Like, they kick the ball up to Cucho, and he just dribbles through a few people and scores, and then Arvston gets a great goal, and it's a tap in for Rossi, I think, and it's just like goal after goal after goal, and it's like, New England, just what can you do? What can you do at this point?
And it's not even like, the crazy thing is, it's not like all of Columbus's goals were tap-ins. Like, there were some legitimately really well-worked good goals across the board. Like, New England had several shots on target that were better chances in terms of like location and where players were. And yet sometimes the ball just bounces that way. Like, Columbus finished almost everything.
Yeah. So it was just another impressive performance from Columbus, and I think that this is what we're gonna see for the majority of the season now. I think they're kind of back into their standard
back in the swing of things.
Yeah. Now that CONCACAF Champions Cup's over, I think they're back into their routine.
It will be very interesting to see, Gavin, because if they put up performances like this between now and, say, Leagues Cup, does the narrative shift that suddenly they are a shield and like presumptive favorite for MLS Cup before we even get to the other side of the Leagues Cup break?
I think they have a lot of ground to make up in this shield race. Not saying it's not possible, but they are...
I mean, they're 11 points behind Miami, but there's 3 matches in hand as well for Miami.
So they could cut that.
They could cut that
with
down to
3
2 points
wins.
behind.
That's a lot of wins in a row there. Not impossible, but
they're playing really well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see them catching up. Maybe they get 2 wins here in the next 3 games, and what's that math? 11 minus. They're 5 points behind.
Yeah.
With about 21, so they'd have 13 games left to cut a 5-point gap for Miami.
It's doable.
It is doable. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I can see that for sure. I can see that. I like it.
I'm extremely excited from like a narrative standpoint. As a fan of a team that currently sits above them, I'm very afraid because like I don't want to have to compete with Miami already. Like I don't want to have 2 teams that I'm trying to outrun. Although maybe that's good from like keeping players like mentally locked in and performing at 100% all the way through the final stretch of the season. But as a fan, it will be very stressful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. I don't have anything to say for New England. I mean, they lost 5-1. I don't want to beat a dead horse,
Yeah,
they didn't convert their chances. Like they had chances. I recognize you're not going to convert all of them.
They were chasing shadows in this match.
Yeah,
Columbus is too good for them right now.
Columbus is too good for a lot of teams right now.
Oh yeah, yep.
That's
why we got them in the shield race.
Surprised if they do pick up 9 points from their next three.
Who they got? Who they got? What are we looking at here?
They're home against Toronto on Saturday.
Well, you missed one.
Oh,
They're
sorry.
home against
Yeah,
Nashville.
Yep, totally missed over that. Yeah, home against Nashville on Wednesday, home against Toronto on Saturday. They go all the way across the country to LAFC on the 13th, and then they're home against Charlotte, and then away against Atlanta, and then that is when the Leagues Cup break hits, and then they're off with everyone else for like a month.
Okay. LAFC game for that third one is where it could be a struggle. Not saying they can't be LAFC. Of course they can. They are good enough, but gonna be interesting. All right, let me see if we have any correspondent corners for either of these two teams.
Yeah, for the record, I fully expect them to get a win against Nashville and a win against Toronto, especially being at home.
You'd think. Yep.
I see a world where they walk out of those 3 matches with minimum 7 points.
6. LAFC could do something there. But I hear you.
Yeah.
We do have a correspondent corner for New England Revolution from Matt Glenn. Let's hear what
Matt has to say.
Yeah, he says after 4 exciting wins against short-handed or heavily scheduled teams, the Revs came up very short in a lopsided 5-1 loss against the Crew. That 4-game win streak bought Porter some time, but Saturday's loss against Columbus reminded fans that the Revs can't handle a team that is at full strength and rest. Maybe with Carlos Hill, the Revs could have scored 1 or 2 more goals, but that wouldn't have been enough to take down Cucho and co. Cucho and co.
Emphasis
I like that.
On and co.
Yes. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. Really strong team performance. And Aiden Morris was gone by this point in time. I mean, there was essentially no drop-off.
Yep.
Really impressive.
Very. All right. Let's hit on the Broken Bell. Okay. Broken Hearts, Broken Bells. Yeah.
All right. Well, Montreal 4, Philadelphia Union 2. Philadelphia probably went into these final moments of the match, right? Like 85 minutes in, you're probably thinking, you know what? We're going to get a draw on the road. We'll take it. And then, yeah, like 2 goals in 2 minutes. From I think the 89th minute and like the 91st minute. And Montreal are up 4-2.
Yeah.
It is, I hate to say it, it's feeding the narrative, right? But it's feeding the narrative that Philadelphia can't see out matches.
It is, it feels like a short-handed Philadelphia, to be fair. Excuse me, but I agree. They're not able to see out matches. And I struggle because every single week I'm like, oh, Philadelphia should be favorites in this match. And I think I'm just like looking at the crest at this point because they've done nothing to deserve to be called favorites in any match currently. Like every match should be a struggle for them.
Yeah, and that's why I took Montreal.
Me too. Yep. Yeah. Even though Montreal hasn't been great this season either, but
they've kind of been figuring it out. Like they're scoring more. Like if you go back and if you do the 5 matches prior to this one, they had I think like 9 goals, and then if you include this one, then they're at 13 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're averaging across the past 6 matches, which is like since the end of May. So like call it maybe about a month. They're averaging 2 goals per match. Like that's decent.
Yeah, it is. They've been better. I agree with that. They're very up and down, Montreal.
Yeah.
But
up and down's a very good description of them. Right now they're on an up cycle though.
Yes. That's very fair. Shout out to Josef Martinez, who had a really, really good performance in this match, I thought. I mean, he really jumped up high for his goal. But overall, I thought he played well, was an impact. Good to see him up front and scoring again. But then Yankov comes in and gets the winner with a great goal for Montreal. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's Like those are the endings you live for as a fan, like
Yeah.
anyone who was in attendance for that match. Like that's the type of thing that you're like, you're so glad you stayed to the end.
That second goal must have been crazy. It's always good when
Yeah.
it's like it's been a close game, close game, close game, late goal winner, and then the second goal to really cap it off right after that.
And you're just like, we know that they are not coming back at this
Yeah,
point.
no. Like we already thought we had the win, but something crazy could happen. But now it's in the bag, and it's just
Right.
great emotions. I love that scenario. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very happy for Montreal. I mean, look, like for the fans, right? Like the ownership of Montreal feels like they're the biggest rival to Montreal's success. So for fans to see, any success on the field, let alone the success that they're having, I mean, again, let me just pull up the standings again. Like they're sitting in 10th in the East, and I think most of us probably had them much further down at the start of the season. So
probably, yeah.
yeah,
I'm excited to
not to say
see.
that 10th is amazing, but
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they build their roster. I think they're not too far away from getting back to a regular playoff spot, like a fifth place, sixth place team. I don't think they're too far, and I think Courtois can get them there. I kind of like him as a coach from what I've seen this season, even though the results haven't been there. So,
but there's been encouraging signs.
Yeah, plus they've struggled with injuries, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they just need a little bit more quality throughout the pitch, in midfield and in defense. They seem to have attack figured out. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they do. Philadelphia, I don't know what they do. They're shorthanded right now. It feels like every single combination they try doesn't work. And they just feel like a team that I don't know if they've given up or they're just not. I don't know,
It's
maybe
a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point.
Yeah, like it does feel like that. Like not that they're not trying, but maybe it's just not the end of the world if they lose a game right now. Like that's
Right.
almost the feeling I feel.
And it seems like they're lacking that leadership that's like, guys, it's the 88th minute. I know there's only like 2 minutes left. We need to see out this game, like get this point on the board.
Focus.
It's so
Yeah.
important to get this.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do this midweek. I think they are home. No, they are away to Chicago. They should look at that
Ooh.
as a winnable match.
Chicago should look at this as a winnable match.
They
you're
should.
right.
Yep, both teams should. So that might be an interesting game to watch to see how these teams play. It
I'm
better
not
not
gonna
be
touch that
a.
with a 10-foot pole.
It might be a boring one to watch, but we'll see.
No way. I'm gonna. You know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna take over 2.5 on this.
Over 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take over 2.5 on this.
Okay.
100%.
That's fair.
I'll lock that in when I get to the bets. I think this is gonna be an over 2.5 because
Over
I think
2.5,
both these
alright.
teams are gonna be like Philadelphia does not have a defense right now, and Chicago seems to only like have absolute bangers against the poor defenses while also conceding like crazy. So
Is El Clasico or El Clasico? El Trafico. Is that
not touching with
guaranteed?
10-foot pole.
Is that guaranteed over 2.5 as well?
Oh, it might be guaranteed over 3.5. Gavin,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to touch that one. Like,
Okay.
Because the second I touch that is the second this is like the first time it's like a 1-0 win.
There's been a 1-0 before.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I think so. No, wasn't there
I
a 1-0 this season?
You know what, Gavin? I don't know. You fact check me on that. I'm going to take us to our last headline,
Okay.
which is putting them in their BC place.
This isn't the last one.
Vancouver.
There's one more, I thought.
Well, no. This is our fourth headline.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because we talked broken hearts, broken bells, Montreal, Philly. We did Boston Tea Party, Columbus, New England, and we did inevitable LAFC, Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
Crazy. Hey, okay. Vancouver 4, St. Louis 3. let's just start off elephant in the room. Bradley Carnell fired today, the 1st of July. He was the runner-up for Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah, a lot of controversy with this one. What are you making it of it? Is it the right decision? Is it way too early?
I feel like I'm being influenced by our St. Louis correspondent who put this really, really eloquently, where either the front office needs to either put up or shut up on this, where if they really think they got the Carnell hire wrong and that they overperformed last year and that the roster is good, this coach they bring in better set things right and quickly. Otherwise, I think it's hard to say this coach that took a roster with a lot of like good team guys and João Klaus, who, very good striker for the league, and made them the best team in the West. People might have to look at that and be like, that was a pretty good coach and good results with that roster.
That's what he did last season, but they're 20 games in and they have 19 points.
Yeah.
They have 3 wins on the season. Literally
they lost a number of players though.
Literally they have the worst. They have the same number of wins as San Jose. It's the worst in the league with 3 wins in 20 matches.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Think about the players they lost. They sent Jared Stroud out, right?
Yep.
Who's doing quite well with his new team in DC. I think he actually even had a goal this past weekend.
I think he did. We'll get to that match. I want to hit on something in that match, but I think yeah, he did.
Anyway, yeah, okay. So they sent out Jared Stroud. And yes, Lewin has been out for a lot of the season. And, every team though is going to deal with players missing. It happens to almost everyone. You have to build a team knowing that sometimes a really important player is going to be gone.
They lost Giacchini?
Yeah. Lost Giacchini. Who else? There was another AZ. AZ's gone.
Zeel Jackson? Is that what you're talking about?
Zeel Jackson. Yep. He's gone.
I think those are the major ones.
Johnny Nelson left. He was a left back that did really well for them at the start of last season. And here's the crazy thing. He was the left back starting for them when they had their extremely hot start to the season. And now Johnny Nelson's playing with LA Galaxy, and look where LA Galaxy are. Yeah,
but he's not starting for them.
He's an important part of the team. He was starting for St. Louis.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's fair.
I think Johnny Nelson
maybe
is
more like a locker room guy.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's a player that you know what you're getting. He can provide good minutes. Is he like the insane, two-way fullback that gives you crazy attacking play and also locks down the back? No. But he's a very reliable left back. And they're taking more away from their roster by getting rid of him.
Yes, that's fair. Yep. I agree with you there. I think those are the main ones for departures.
Yeah, main ones. They lost even more than that, I'm pretty sure. But
I'm looking now. They lost. Other than that, it's John Bell to Seattle. Other than that, it's Isak Jensen to Viborg in Denmark. Okay. Lucas Bartlett to DC. There's no one else that's like a main issue.
Yeah.
So we've listed all of them.
So I guess then the question is, who have they brought in? Who did they bring in to replace the guys who went out? The answer to me is no one.
Yeah, nothing spectacular. Now we know they have players coming in soon that have already been announced, right?
Some, yeah. But
what's the guy's name? They're coming in a few weeks.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. We mispronounce their name frequently.
Yes, we do. The German guy. So they're getting that forward in, and then they're bringing in a defender as well. Um, they brought in Chris Durkin.
Which Durkin's fine.
Yeah, it's not amazing. I agree.
Right.
So.
I mean, he's a very acceptable
But he's a
ad.
he's a midfielder. He's not an
Yeah.
attacker. He's not going to go score goals.
Right. I
And I
don't
think
think
that's what
he.
they're missing.
Yeah. He doesn't bring anything that they needed to the table.
Yep, I agree. So, I guess what is your point? Are you saying that the front office kind of screwed him over and then fired him because they gave him a bad roster?
That's the way that I fall on it. Like, I mean, he had a really good season last year. And yes, you can say, like, all the numbers say that he overperformed. But that's still results. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like he had the exact same roster and then they underperformed this year. Like, they had a pretty substantially different roster and then now underperformed. So, like, something changed, and I don't know if you can fully say it's all on Carnell.
Yeah, no, and it never is fully on the coach. Um, do you think we're going to see St. Louis operate in a ruthless fashion similar to a Chelsea? Where
I don't know.
you're not
I would be
doing
okay
well
with it.
for a 20-25 match stretch, you're out, and we're going to go get someone who is going to do well.
I would
Are
be all
they
right with
that
that.
ambitious?
I don't think they will be, for the record. But I would be fine with it if they were. Because I think there's a lot of coaches in this league that get a lot of grace.
Yes. Way
And
too much grace.
yeah. And that's where I'm going. Is sometimes too much grace. And it holds teams back way longer than what they would otherwise be held back.
And maybe they thought, Carnell got us first in the West, but we got into the playoffs and we had a poor run, and then this season the results are terrible. Like, maybe they just totally lost trust in his ability to, win them what they want to win. So, I don't know.
Entirely possible. I don't know.
Oh, I saw your chat. My wife is vacuuming. So,
Makes sense.
sorry if y'all hear that, but I am not going to tell her to stop because it's actually helpful. Ooh,
Fair enough.
Uruguay almost scored.
I saw that.
Because I don't feel like vacuuming.
Fair.
Do you
one
feel
ever
like
feels
vacuuming?
Look, I'll tell you this. I would feel more like vacuuming than I do feel like putting away dishes.
Really?
I
Yeah.
hate putting away dishes. I don't mind washing dishes.
Oh, okay. I was about to say the
I
same
don't.
thing.
I don't like putting them away.
Yeah, I don't mind washing them either. It's the putting them away. Same with the clothes.
Yep. I don't mind washing clothes. I
Yeah.
don't like putting them away.
Okay, we are talking about St. Louis, and they went 2-0 up against Vancouver.
Yeah. And then Brian White scored a hat trick, and then Fafa Picault unknowingly got the game winner in the 90th minute. Sends them up 4-2, and then St. Louis gets that third at like 90+3. But I mean, at that point, like
It's
they
not
were
enough.
behind two. Yeah, like Fafa Picault must be sitting there post match being like, I'm so glad I got that goal. Like
Right.
I actually got the match winner.
Yep,
Like
he
Brian
did.
White probably thought, got a hat trick, locked down this result, like I'm
Match
on top
winner.
of it. No. Fafa Picault in the 90th minute preemptively gets the match winner, and everyone thinks that that's just a gravy goal. No, actually very important.
Yeah. So he hasn't been amazing this campaign, Fafa Picault, but he's been decent. Big goal for them to get the win.
Yeah.
Just a hectic match all the way around. We love a late night 4-3. So, yeah.
Considering this was the one that I had on my main screen, I had a blast
Oh,
with this game.
I'm sure you did. That Brian White goal where he flicked it
Oh,
from his heel,
that's
dude.
this was my
Insane.
goal. When you said that like the Atlanta goal was like your goal of the match week, no, the Brian White goal, hitting the ball in stride on the back of his heel, getting it over his head, over the keeper's head, into the back of the net, unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's like a top goal of the season for me.
that's my second favorite goal of the weekend.
That
So
is
we just flip flopped him.
unbelievable, and how so very dare you. But I
Yeah.
will allow it, considering you may never see either of these goals potentially for the next decade. I mean, it just is what it is. So
Yeah. So St. Louis, you go 2-0 up on the road, you feel you should at least get a draw in that scenario, but don't get the win. I don't know. Just they I'm
2-0 lead, most dangerous lead.
I don't blame them for firing the coach, honestly. I don't think
Yeah.
it's as harsh as some are making it out to be. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Vancouver get the win, good hard fought win. And away they go. Are they still top 4? Or are they down in like 5th in the West? Where
They're
are they
in like
at?
8th.
Damn, they've slid that far? They did,
Yeah,
that's right. They've had a couple of
slid
poor results.
really far.
Yeah.
Now, here's the crazy thing, right? They are 3 points behind Colorado, who are in 4th place. Stop me if you heard this before.
What? That's MLS for you. Stop me if you've heard that before.
Stop me if you've heard that one before.
So on the Uruguay match, it just flashed up that USA have 2 shots so far, 57 minutes into the match.
Right, and one of them are on target.
Yeah.
And Uruguay have, I think, like 6 or 8
It
shots?
said 6,
zero,
but none on target.
0 on target, yeah. That is...
Which would you rather, 6 shots but none on target, or 2 with 1 on target?
This feels like, I feel like I'm picking Real Salt Lake if I pick the 2 shots, 1 on target. I feel like I'm picking like Houston Dynamo or Colorado circa last year if I take 6 shots, 0 on target.
Hey, RSL like 2 seasons ago with the 2 shots, 1 on target.
Yeah.
I would prefer the 6 shots personally.
Yeah, I think I would feel more optimistic because like I think unfortunately soccer is sometimes still a numbers game, and like volume strikers and volume teams will still tend to get results in the grand scheme of thing. Like we've seen this throughout Copa America and through the Euros, is like there are teams where like they have 1 or 2 big chances a match, and like you have to make those count, because in these matches that are 1-0 affairs or like 2-1s, like 1 goal does make all the difference, and you have to be that clinical. And if you're only taking 2 shots and 1 on target, both those shots had to count.
Mm-hmm.
They had to matter. If you had 6, like you had more chances to get it right.
Right. That's fair. Hey, I'm going to do the correspondent corner for St. Louis real quick.
Absolutely.
So, Tyler Samt at STL Footy says, disappointed but not surprised. It's been a tumultuous 72 hours for St. Louis after throwing away a 2-goal lead and parting ways with Bradley Carnell. I can't say I'm celebrating because how we got here hasn't been fun, but it was the right move. 8 wins in the team's last 37 matches speaks for itself. The team desperately needs new ideas. It needs a few new faces. I appreciate the front office being willing to make the hard decision. The malaise that has defined City for the last month finally has the potential to be lifted, but after last season's high, it will be hard for fans to accept that this season is likely already a wash. Best of luck to Bradley Carnell, and thanks for what you brought to the city. It's a good correspondent corner right there.
That stat, if I said Gary Smith has 8 wins in his last 37 matches earlier in the season when talking about Nashville, you'd be like, sounds right.
Sounds right. Get rid of him.
And you know what? We were saying the same thing about Gary Smith and they got rid of him. So if that's the stat about Bradley Carnell, then
That's what I'm telling you, man. I think it's a fair firing. I don't think it's
Yeah.
too harsh.
I think on the balance of results, you're right. It's a fair firing. I think there is still some culpability in the front office.
Yes, agree. You know, it wasn't
Okay.
fair, or maybe it wasn't fair as harsh. But the red card for Dahome,
Oh yeah.
that was
That was something.
ridiculous.
As a Cincinnati fan, considering we played DC United midweek, I was fine with it.
Oh, I'm
Personally,
sure.
I love that DC United are going to be missing both Christian Benteke and Dahome, while we're sitting there, missing 3 center backs.
Ooh, should I put that game in my 3-leg for Cincinnati to win? No.
You would be much braver
Okay.
than I.
Okay.
Tell you that.
You guys won this week.
I am not touching that match
Okay.
at all. And I would not have touched the match that we won 1-0.
Yeah, I did
the
not. I didn't go anywhere near it. Okay.
I took over 2.5. And that was like the only thing that I did. I was like, I don't even want to pick a result, but we have no center back, so there's no way Dallas doesn't score at least once or twice. And we kept a clean sheet, and that blew up.
I don't know how you guys did that.
No idea. Like, I'm not even mad about that not panning out, because like that clean sheet was so needed from like a fan mental health perspective. But,
literally.
Yeah, no idea how Cincinnati managed that. Like, their defense they're using DeAndre Yedlin as a center back right now. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like that should tell you where they are right now.
Yeah. All right, we've got a correspondent corner for NYCFC. They beat Orlando on Friday night. So,
ooh, man, I watched that one too.
Oh yeah, Coach Joe says 3 points against a pretty impotent skeleton Orlando City is nice, but it doesn't forgive the sins of the recent 3 matches losing streak. Losing rookie Malachi Jones stings a lot. He was a shining bright spot this year for a team that hasn't drafted an impact player in the super drafts since Jack Harrison. Next up is Montreal midweek at Citi Field. Yeah, pretty nasty challenge between Staj Dahar and Malachi Jones. Both players having to come off, and Staj Dahar had to get surgery. I don't know, did Jones need surgery as well, or is he just out?
Know. I thought it was Malachi Jones.
Malachi. Sorry, it probably is. That's rough. I like him as a player. Don't know his name though. But yeah, so it is rough because like Joe said, he's been a bright spot for them. Yep. But yeah, NYCFC played well. Orlando City did not, and I think the scoreline was pretty fair for the outcome. I think that's the main stuff I wanted to hit on. We hit on most of the other stuff. Is there anything major we missed? We hit on almost all the games.
Hey, here's a major thing. I think Bolivia just pulled back a goal against Panama.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
That is interesting. That makes it we're not level on points, right? Are we level on points?
We're level on points. In the live standings, we're level on points.
So we go through on goal difference currently.
Correct. Yep.
Oy, ay, ay, ay.
Now, I think Panama will get another goal against Bolivia. But here's my thing. Can we keep Uruguay out of our goal for the next 30 minutes? I guess maybe. I don't know.
We can.
Yeah, if we keep playing like this, which is not exactly aesthetically pleasing.
If we they're showing people in the crowd. If we don't play as open as we may need to, if the score was different in the Panama game, we can keep them out of our goal. Because I think the main threat from them is going to be on...
Oh my gosh.
Please be offside. Please be offside.
I love that was while you were sitting there talking about
Please
how
be
can we keep
offside.
them out of our own goal, and you're like, if we don't play us open, and
I
you're
was
like,
literally gonna say like their only threat's gonna be on the transition. They're not gonna break us down.
oh,
Is he off?
I that hand, like they might keep him on from the hand for the defender. Because
No, he's
remember,
off. He's off.
I'm
Is he
not so
off
sure.
from the header?
I don't know.
It's not
It
the
looks like
hand
a
of the
hand.
defender though. It's got to be a playable part of the.
I think it's a
Um,
playable part of the attacker's body.
no, no. It's like the shoulder of the defender as well. It's not the hand.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they rule it. We'll see what happens here. Hey, in the meantime,
Doris said our
Gavin.
laughs were loud in the
Good.
chat.
Yeah. Our laughs were loud.
Okay, hold on. Pause it.
Yeah.
Oh, he might be outside. No.
Oh.
McKenny's foot is like. Oh, it's Richards. Richards' foot is right there.
Ooh,
If we had
yeah.
semi-automated, do we have the lines? I think there
No.
are the lines.
No, I don't think there are.
No. Ugh.
Because we don't. Keep in mind, these are in American football stadiums. There's not. I don't think the camera angles and the setup to do the Hawkeye lines.
But they've been showing. You know how the Euros have been showing like 5 minutes later the semi-automated. They've
And
been showing
those-
not semi-automated, but they've been showing lines like a few minutes later.
Here's the thing. Those are probably rendered on, but I don't think
Not for
we have the-
decision making.
Yeah.
I don't think this is clear and obvious with the
I don't
angle
think
that
it's
they're
clear and
showing.
obvious either. And here's the thing: I don't think he's even off. I think he's on. I think they're gonna give it. Anyways, hey, well,
I think if it's semi-automated, he's off, but it's really, really tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude's toenail in the Euros.
They're taking a good long look at it. But hey, in the meantime, Gavin, let's take a good long look at some picks that we're gonna have for these Thursday matches.
Okay, let's do it.
And I have a really good one lined up here. I have Columbus Crew
Yep.
over Nashville. I'm taking over 2.5 on Chicago Fire and Philadelphia Union. And actually, I am taking tie or FC Cincinnati in the DC United matchup. I really think it's going to be tie, though.
Tie or DC? I thought you
Tie
weren't
or
touching
Cincinnati.
that game.
Yeah, no, I changed my mind.
Oh,
No,
they've given it.
No, I told you they were going to give it.
No way.
Way, Gavin. I told you they were going to give it. I told you. My
That's
man.
awful. Okay,
You gotta learn to understand that I know how.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
these
so you
matches
said
work.
Columbus, tie or
yeah.
Cincinnati.
Columbus, tie or Cincinnati, and I really think it's gonna be tie, but I hate taking ties, and it was
Yes,
slightly better odds
yes.
to take Cincinnati.
Yes.
And then over 2.5 in the Chicago match.
Okay, that you'll probably win that. I've got Columbus.
Okay, very safe.
I've got Colorado over SKC.
Okay,
Come on, they have to have a bounce back win. They have to.
likely, yeah. There's no way SKC can do 2 wins in a row.
Yeah. And Toronto versus Orlando, both teams to score.
That's bold. Bold of you to assume that Orlando's going to score.
Nah, I'm liking both teams to score for Orlando right now. Just it feels like every game we at least get a goal and we at least give up a goal. Both teams score. Okay, the last time there was a clean sheet for either team in an Orlando City match was June 1st, the Red Bulls.
Okay.
They beat us
So a month
1-0.
ago.
Yep.
All right.
And
And this is in
then-
Toronto or this is in Orlando?
In Toronto.
Okay.
Even against NYCFC, like
I don't know.
when we were down bad at halftime, I was like, we'll still get a goal second half. And we did.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you best of luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What I say to you. Because we need some wins. Because I'm not I'm not convinced that USA is going to get a win.
Dude, I can't believe, as I'm sitting here saying, they're going to beat us only on transition, so if we just lock it down, we'll be fine. The ball is in the net, dude.
In the net.
What was that about?
You jinxed it. You jinxed it.
You all can blame it on me if they lose this match.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Gavin? Like I said, I hedged my happiness, and I took a Uruguay win in a parlay. So.
Oh, smart man.
Yeah. I don't have faith in Berhalter though.
Oh, Josh Sargent in to save the day.
You know what? I like that sub.
But okay.
Anyways, Gavin, you know what else I like? I like it when our listeners reach out to us, and if they want to do so, they can find us on social media at the MLS Now Podcast, online at mlsnowpodcast.com, or most notably, we've just enabled a feature that allows you to text us from a link on our episode description. So there'll be a little link there. You can click and follow, give you a little one-way text. So if you like something and you hear it, feel free to click on the description in the episodes and you can send us a message. But in the meantime, if you want to reach Gavin on social media, he's at LionsBlog1. I'm at Mr. Dangerous. Gavin, till next time.
Till next time.